Hey, Ed Drost, good morning.
Good morning, Stephen. How you doing, my friend?
Doing well. How about you?
Great, Greg. We're finishing up. We had the three proactive wellness overview. Today, we're just talking three wellness overview, but it's a three-part series with Linda McCormick. She is a pharmaceutical sales rep. She's been in management. She's also at the higher end, as far as executive parts of the pharmaceutical industry. And then we have Dr. Steve Sabo, who was a surgeon in the New Jersey, New York area for 28 years. So we have two people that are outside the network marketing space that have realized the power of Three's wellness products.
Correct. Yep.
So here we go. We're just going to finish up. We'll finish up the end of their first two parts.
Excellent.
Okay, let's see.
It was just it's a great way for us to kind of tell people too that this is working for us, and we can say it with full confidence, So, and I know you've probably seen some evidence in the ER of maybe patients that have come in, maybe pain or anything like that. I don't know if you have any of those kinds of experiences where you wish you'd had something different. Because this is, with my husband, it was proactive, right? We were able to tackle it before the numbers got really bad, right? So I don't know if you've had any experiences like that in the ER.
Linda, every single day of those 28 years, because I see pain, they would see pain all the time. Yeah. Somebody once told me the best thing you can do as a doctor is take somebody out of their pain, and they'll be thankful for you, at least for, until they leave the department. But one of the issues we have is that, what do we have to treat pain? As a doctor, you have anti-inflammatories, which means if you're taking a blood thinner, you can't give them Tylenol, which helps with mild pain. And then you have narcotics. And one thing I realized, is that a lot of people don't want to take narcotics anymore. I mean, I had 2 surgeries the last 2 years, and knock on wood, I was able to throw out the codeine, Tylenol with codeine that my doctor gave me, because I did so well with pain relief from, at the time I took CBD and also curcumin. I took increased doses of those. But I want to tell you a story about it was about an 85-year-old gentleman, and I think he had a broken arm, or he had some type of a fracture, didn't need to be admitted, but we needed to get him on a regimen of something for pain. He's an elderly guy, and I'm hesitant about anti-inflammatories, but he also was on a blood thinner. So with that, you definitely don't give anti-inflammatories, stuff like Motrin. So we talked about opioids, and his daughter was there and said, "Listen, doc, aren't we going to cause more problems with him? And so opioids can make you sleepy. And then, as she said, which is right, then you have a problem if he's sleepy and I'm not right next to him and he gets up and he falls and hits his head, then you have a bigger problem than a broken arm, because he could be bleeding in his head, especially being on the blood thinner." So we discussed it, and they elected not to take a prescription. And I advised them to get a curcumin product or a CBD product at that time.
Yeah. And that's where you had, there's no choice. There's just no choice. So, yeah. And I think there are a lot of other products on the market, right? You could just go take curcumin off the shelf, or one of these other, supplement companies or something. So in your mind, why 3? I mean, why these products? Why these supplements?
That's a great question. And that, Linda, that's why I'm here today. And I could tell you that's why the other members of the Scientific Advisory Board are here today, because it's different. 3 is different in a number of ways. First of all, I was once told this saying that all you get from vitamins is expensive urine. You think about that. I don't know if you've heard of that expression, but that's because most supplements just don't get absorbed. Right. Do you know how many absorption systems that we have with these products? Not in every product, but overall, do you know?
No.
10. So includes liposomes, but it's fascinating. Dr. Dan Gubler, the formulator of our products, he's used 10 different, yes, liposomes, and liposomes are great, but there's 9 other delivery systems here that improve cellular absorption. And that's fascinating. So to me, that's the most important thing. Another reason why 3, credibility, I'm going to keep coming back to this, and the credibility with the absorption makes our products better than over the shelf at the big box stores, we'll just say. The PDR. So people that don't know who the PDR is, back in the day when my father was practicing, he'd have the big red book there. It was called the Physician's Desk Reference, PDR. Now it's Prescriber's Digital Reference because it's online. And it's a major source of credibility because when physicians are not sure what to prescribe or they have a choice, they want to look up the different medicines. What many people may not know, but also supplements are in this guide. Linda, all 6 of our products are in the PDR. Again, credibility, which is fascinating. Let's go back to absorption for a minute. Dr. Dan Gubler did a study recently from a third party to see if our products really were better absorbed. Now think about that. What supplement company is going to, instead of just telling people it's better absorbed, what supplement company is going to actually test their own products, especially if they're not sure that they're better absorbed? But he knew that. I'm convinced that he knew that. He did the test, and he talked about the results at our convention recently, and he's going to be releasing those results, which I think we'll all be excited to see. And every single product showed that it had increased absorption over the control. And the control was actually a curcumin product. A lot of people sprinkle curcumin over their food.
Yeah.
Which doesn't get absorbed. So that's number 3. Number 4 is, what was number 4? Oh, our Wellness Institute, the 3 Wellness Institute. And this is a farm in northern Thailand that Dr. Dan is working with now, the woman who runs the farm, and they're studying the herbs, the vegetables, the plants that are out there for medicinal value. Now, how cool is this? Think about that. Think about all the diseases and illnesses that are out there that need something, and people who have them, they need something to help them. And we have the potential to do that with what we're doing out there. And it's fascinating.
It's just that exploration that we're doing, because many of the pharmaceutical, I think 50% of pharmaceuticals actually come from plants. And we've only scratched the surface of the plants, right? It's about 5% of a 600,000 species that we even know or have discovered the medicinal value. So that work he's doing there is critical. It's critical.
And as you know, pharmaceutical companies do research on plants all the time. So why not us? And just to think that our company could be at the forefront of potentially some major discoveries, it's really exciting, really exciting. And then the 5th thing I'd like to say, again, with credibility and why 3, is a study that he only touched upon at the last conference, and he's going to have more information soon. But he tested our products for influence and effects on certain markers of inflammation, like CRP. It's a marker, and all the markers that were tested, our products had positive influences. And again, we'll have more information of that in the next coming months. But how exciting that is, and these markers can be signs for illness and disease. And to think that our products are having a positive effect is just amazing.
Mm-hmm. It is. And I can't tell you, I'm the same way. Like, I never was a proponent of the supplement industry because of that very fact of the absorption and, again, the credibility. Nothing is, has been through any rigorous testing, but all of these have, and we're so lucky to have them, And
the studies, I think if you want to, approach a medical professional, and I'll just leave you with this, the 5 points I just made
Absolutely.
studies that show an improvement in something are
Yeah.
huge, because supplements didn't have that before.
No.
Stuff like we're doing here, and so it's amazing. So
Yeah.
that's why.
Okay. Well, I think we've actually come to our time, and I have enjoyed this conversation, enjoyed hearing from you, and just gaining that knowledge that you've had to offer. So I really appreciate it, and I hope to see you on some of our journey as we move along with this. So thanks again for joining, and we will talk soon, I'm sure.
We will. Thank you, Linda.
Okay.
That's good stuff. Oh, Ed, you're muted.
Buddy,
There you are.
unmuted.
Okay, good. What were you saying?
No, I'm just saying, I mean, like he said, you can have expensive urine, or you can pay a little more for a product that is absorbed, and it's got 10 different ways of being absorbed, our product line.
Absolutely. I mean, the more we continue to hear of what Dr. Gubler is up to with the Scientific Advisory Board, and with all the outside testing, and and the results that they're getting, their indication of the markers. I mean, that's really where it gets to be proactive, when they can start to see, certain markers or measurements of where these products are making a difference proactively. I mean, it's just going to continue to further underscore and add further credibility to what these products can accomplish in people's lives, and to where the company is going. It's really pretty exciting.
Yeah. And the thing that, like, in the last video,
Mm-hmm.
Linda McCormick was talking about her husband, who's, I think, A1C, his diabetic numbers or sugar numbers were elevated.
Mm-hmm.
And he started taking the products, and they've declined back to normal levels. Correct. Over the course of a doctor visit. Now, I don't know the time frame there, but what I'm thinking is, if Dr. Dan understands, I don't understand the markers. He understands the markers and how our products will work for people that have the potential of going in the wrong direction. And it'll get you back in the right direction.
Correct. Yeah. Before you get to that point of no return or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. So, like you said, there's a lot of people out there just relying on pharmaceuticals. And, as Dr. Sabo says, just because you take a pharmaceutical product, it might help in one area, but a lot of times, if you ever watch the commercials or the side effects of these pharmaceutical products, I mean, they got a list, as long as your arm, so it's a, so it's a slippery slope. I mean, I'll just give you an example. My wife had Alzheimer's.
Mm-hmm.
I was giving her the Alzheimer's medication.
Right.
The doctor, he was a, I don't know, neuroscientist, neuro doctor. I'm not sure. I can't remember the name for him, but, I'd take her to him, and he prescribed them. And all of a sudden she started having seizures. Never thought about it. We had to go to the hospital. It knocked her down a peg, and, through this whole process. And I would go back to the doctors, and I did some research after the fact and found out that one of the side effects of these Alzheimer's products are seizures. But they never mentioned that to me.
Right. Well, I'm sorry to hear that. And there's a reason why they wail through those side effects in the last 2 seconds of every commercial, because A, they don't want people to hear them. And B, if we truly understood everything they were saying at that point, no one would be taking any of that stuff.
No. So, yeah. So anyway, so here we are, we're wrapping it up. We had a good week of wellness, overviews, talking about the products, how they're helping people, how they're affected people, how people are out there talking about the 3 product line now. It's really growing. We're on the fastest growing team, and it's exciting. So we could kind of end it here, but, go to temovement.com. Connect with me, Ed Droz. Connect with Stephen Rieker.
We're on social. Yep. Everywhere.
Social media. We're out there doing a few things outside the box. We're trying to get this information out to people through third party, not only just what me and Stephen have to say. We know you love hearing what me and Stephen have to say, but it's nice to have some other people giving you the same information to have maybe a little more credibility in the medical arena.
Just a little.
Yeah, just a little. Yeah. Hey, I stayed at a Holiday Inn Express one night, but I'm not a surgeon,
There you go. That's right. Me neither. All right, Ed. Well, good.
Okay,
With that,
buddy.
thanks for joining us, folks. We'll see you on the next one. You have a great day, and Ed, we'll talk soon.